Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Hi. Hi.
In the dark, they're Jack. I'll show you. They're so cute.
Oh my god, I love it.
So I'm going to see if I could pull up your chart. So I could just look at that, and then I have your chart against the two eclipses that were in between.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
I know. It's been a rough one. Okay, can you see?
Yeah.
You can see the chart.
Yes.
Awesome. And then we're in the corner. So that's very cool. That's my first time trying that. This is all new, and I'm glad that you are my first kind of interviewee. This is Joolz' chart. She is a December 2nd baby. She is a Sagittarius. And if this is this the correct time, the 3:20 p.m.?
Yep.
Vermont. Okay, so you're a rising Taurus. Okay, so Tauruses are usually known to have like really beautiful necks.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, and they tend to like that kind of affection too. But that's like a lot more like Mars and Venus in Taurus. But your sun is in the 7th house, which is a Libra house. So it lights up kind of your partnerships and relationships. It definitely softens your energy, which I love. Because Sagittariuses are a fire sign. You have the fiery hair, to go fiery energy. I am a Leo, so I'm a fire sign too. And Sagittariuses are kind of like the teachers, the gurus. They're in tune with their spirituality, as far as like they know how to study, you know. They understand a lot of that kind of stuff, and then in turn they could be, the shadow aspect would be kind of like this know-it-all, right? Or like someone that could be really speak before like thinking, but your son is in, oh my god, I just saw that guy at the coffee shop today and he walked by my window. Okay. Hi. But because your sun is in the 7th house of Libra, you have this like really Venusian, sweet, soft energy about you that really does care about harmony and balance and mutuality, and like you like things to be fair.
That makes sense.
You know, you want the equal masculine and feminine, right? You want the equal give and take.
1,000%.
Yeah. And so, so that's here. And then you have this quincunx, which is it's 150 degree aspect, which are challenging because this means they have nothing in common, right? So you have trines, which have a harmonious energy flow, like a triangle, right? The triangle is an aspect of 120 degrees, and you can bounce a ball within a triangle and it continues to keep momentum. Now, squares, if I were to bounce a ball in a square, it would die. And that's what the square aspects are, the red square aspects. So red are going to be the challenging aspects in a chart. And like this is an opposition. So this is 180 degree separation here. So this is how like just angles and aspects work when you're reading a birth chart. And then the quincunx. So you have the blue is the trines, the sextiles are 60 degrees. And then you don't have any trines. you have this interesting thing. This red, it looks like a little hippity hoppity rabbit thing going on.
It does, yeah.
Which I've never seen. This aspect right here, this green one, that's the one that has nothing in common, because at least squares kind of have something in common, because they're fixed energy, right? These two are fixed energies, and this one's fixed energies. The trines are going to be the same in, like, oh, they're both water signs. And then quincunx this is a fire mutable, and this is a water cardinal. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
We don't get along. We don't see eye to eye. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But there is a connection. Because of the degree points, there's a very close orb. This is 10 degrees, and your Jupiter's at 8 degrees. So there's like a 2 degree orb, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And so there is a contact in degree point. There is an aspect, but literally their modality, their elements are just different. So we have, these are conjunct. So this is Pluto and Mars is conjunct, which I have that. I love this because it's like literally Darth Vader conjunction. It's like we can go through so much and not be phased. We're
probably why we have such great humor, right?
Yeah, we're very strong, and usually people come to us when they are at their bottom, when they have reached a bottom of their life, because we're like, yeah, we hang out here sometimes, so we know all about it.
Right.
We could help you through it. It's not scary to us. And we can help people through their transformations.
Okay.
We have that superpower. Yours is in Scorpio. So
really?
Yes. So,
I didn't even know that I had any Scorpio in my chart. So
yeah, your Mars is in Scorpio. And your Pluto generation is Scorpio.
Okay.
So my Pluto generation is Libra, because I was born in 80. We're actually 9 years apart. I did not know that. And so I'm the Libra Pluto generation, and you're the Scorpio. So you guys are the ones that are really trying to get to the bottom. As a generation, you want to get the truth. You want to get to the bottom of the lies, the manipulation, the secrets of the government, society, right? And so you guys are the generation that have exposed that, because Pluto is about exposing. And the Pluto Libra generation are the generations that we were transforming the conditioning of societal norms of man and woman and marriage.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're the generation that was like, our parents were all divorcing.
Yeah.
Like my mom's generation, all their parents were together.
Right.
But my mom's, my parents were never married. And if they were married, they were divorced, right? So that's my generation. We're seeing the truth and the depth within this false narrative of like happily ever after marriage between a man and a woman. We've come out and said, you know what? We can have marriages besides man and women.
Yeah.
We can have same-sex marriages. And that was us bringing that to light. And then your generation is bringing that secrets of the systems and the government and the taboo and the things that we don't talk about and money and stuff like that, right? The systems.
Yeah.
And then after Pluto in Scorpio generations is Pluto in Sagittarius.
And Sagittarius has some truth-seeking energy too, right? But maybe more in a philosophical sense.
Exactly. So seeing maybe more in the systems of religion.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that I think that's when a lot of stuff was coming out about like religious leaders, like popes and stuff.
Yep.
Right? And then now is we're in the Pluto Capricorn, which is destroying and seeing the crumbling and the transformation of the systems. Because I think it's because a lot of the Scorpio generations, exposed it.
Yeah.
Right. And then we saw the raw truth about like, even I think overseas travel and stuff, and how there was a lot of, there's just a lot more like plane and air travel mix, like a lot of crashes.
Yeah.
Crashes and like doors flying off planes, and like I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
That's also another part of that system that we've relied on for so long. Hospital systems, bank systems, school systems, air travel systems, political systems, right? All of it's kind of just been like exposed and destroyed. And this is the last part of Pluto in Capricorn. We're at 29 degree, I think, today. Let's just look. 29, because it's Pluto's retrograded back, and then it will be in Aquarius for the next decade. Aquarius, and then we'll have the Pluto Aquarius generations being born. Yeah, it's at 29 degrees. So this, we are kind of the because Mars is about assertiveness and action, and it's associated with Aries, right? So Aries are the ones that will pave a new path. So we don't need a road or a path or a hiking trail. It's like Aries are the ones that go off trail and they create a new path. They are the warriors, the soldiers, the they have that drive, that cardinal energy to just like go no matter how hard it might be. They're the babies of the zodiac. And so they just go. They don't think about it. They just do.
Right.
And so with that Mars conjunct Pluto for both of us, we're really driving these truths within our generation. We're helping facilitate that. And I love your Aquarius moon. Your Aquarius
talk about it.
moon is also in the 9th house, which is a Sagittarius house.
Okay. Which is the house of
foreign overseas travel, spirituality, the guru, the teacher. It's about expansion. So you and I both have very similar moons in the way that Jupiter is conjunct my moon.
Yeah.
Okay. And your moon is in that expansive Jupiter house. And it's about this. We really know how to stay positive and really see and feel like just our feeling, like our soul is like ambitious.
Yeah.
Where we're like, we're going to get through this. And I know this is just something that I am learning or going through. And our emotions can be more like optimistic, I guess you could say.
Totally. Seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. That's exactly what Jupiter is.
Yeah.
And so the Aquarius moons are kind of like, they care about humanity. They care about the collective. They care about people as a unit, as a whole, but a little harder with the one-on-ones.
Right.
With like giving your attention only to the one person. You're like, yeah, but I like hanging out with my friends. I like doing my own thing. I like my freedom. I like to be able to move as I please around, kind of thing. Because Aquarius moons need their space and they need their quality time, but they also need community. Do you have anything that you want to add to anything that has to do with your moon? Or maybe the areas that you've heard that maybe you don't identify with?
I guess, just what I've always been confused about, like, how do I want to put this? I guess, I've always thought astrology was cool. I'm definitely no expert like you by any means, and so I think it's a great tool. So I would just, whenever I would occasionally read like horoscopes for your moon sign, it just never resonated, but my sun and either my sun, my rising, or my and my Venus would always be spot on. So I guess I just thought, like, I didn't relate to the emotional aspects that it said that my moon should be going through at any given time or something like that, I do get the humanitarian thing. I think I am good at giving my attention to one person at a time, but maybe I do get a little bit, I don't want to say bored, but I can get a little restless, like I need to bop around a little bit. So
that makes sense. With the Venus, because your rising is ruled by Venus, that makes sense. Because horoscopes are written by the rising. Horoscopes are based on the transits within the houses. So you definitely want to listen for transits with this energy, which is Taurus. And I can understand Capricorn because your moon is only 1 degree. 1 degree.
Okay, so when you speak about the degrees, that speaks to how much I feel it in my chart, basically, or
it's kind of like where the separation is. So like the exact positioning, because tropical astrology is based on seasonal astrology. So it's the 4 seasons, and that's what we split. So the 4 seasons is split within the 3 months each season, right? So we're counting the fall equinox that just happened, fall, winter, spring, summer. And with that being said, if an astronomer were to look up in the sky when you were born, the moon would have been in Capricorn. And the sun would have been in Scorpio. So we also can relate to that energy in that way. It's still there. I'm a Cancer sun in Vedic, and I am a Leo moon. And I identify with that a lot. But I also have my Venus in Cancer. And my sun in Leo. So I already have those energies present within me.
Interesting.
And the way that it lines up here, let me just stop sharing, and I'm going to share the transits, and then maybe it'll make a little more sense. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the last eclipse that happened against your chart, which was the full moon in Pisces. Okay. This is fun. Thank you for doing this. I think it's just helpful for people to learn at like what I do, but also like help me understand what people maybe don't understand or don't know to ask, because then I don't know what to teach, you know, kind of thing.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, so this eclipse happened on September 17th, which was Tuesday. So I'm going to cover that up, but I just wanted to show that to everyone. We are in an eclipse portal right now. And what that means is we are in between eclipses. And we had 4 this year. And this is the last one coming up on October 2nd. So the full moon eclipse is in Pisces. That just happened on September 17th. And the closing of the portal is that new moon solar eclipse happening in Libra.
Yeah.
And this one that just happened is a sneak peek into 2025 and 26. And the reason why I say that is because eclipses are based on the moon's nodes. And the north node is switching into Pisces. And it's leaving the sign of Aries, where it has been for the last 18-month cycle. And that's why we're having the opposite Libra solar eclipse. So the Libra solar eclipse is on the transiting south node. And so that's a collective thing. We're all releasing relationship dynamics that no longer serve us from the past, from the past. And we will, some of us, not all of us, will have some people coming in from the past. And this could be relationships, friendships, family. Okay? These are all kinds of relationships. They're not just romantic. It could be even old business partners, old employers.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're coming up from the past, not to jump in to business with them, into a relationship with them, but to navigate what still needs to be solved, settled, and released and learned. Also, if it's not someone specifically, it could be within ourselves and our own relationship patterns.
Oh, I think that's a big one. I know it is for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. It's like, okay. And I feel like the last few weeks, I've been going through all my past relationships in my mind. And even some past relationships have hit me up.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I'm looking at common denominators within those partnerships. How much also that I have tolerated and what I'm not willing to tolerate going forward in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
The things that we've learned and how we're going to better balance our needs with the needs of others, 1. 2, create healthy boundaries in relationships and limitations. Like, hey, okay, well, this has happened. I need to move forward. I need to move on. What we're allowing. And also taking a look at like how we go about putting those boundaries up, because I think that even like with our feminine energies, as the divine feminine, we could lack those boundaries because we have this kind of like this empathy and this feminine energy of like, oh, I want to nurture, I understand, or I want to help, or I want to heal, but at the same time, at the expense of what?
Right.
At the expense of our own mental and emotional well-being. And that's a lot also where we're putting some boundaries up. Let me pull up the new moon solar eclipse chart so you can see. But that eclipse, I was in your 11th house.
Okay.
And that is future plans. That's friendships, networks. So there's probably a lot of friendships and networks and communities that you're maybe just detaching from, because maybe they just are, maybe you found out something, or you are finding out stuff that was hidden that is now being revealed in that area. Friendships, networks, and stuff like that. Let's see. Future plans.
Actually, yeah, and come to think of it, there was a couple situations of people I thought I was going to network with, and then I just never heard back from them. And it was a few multiple people. So that was interesting.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, because your 11th house is networks, community, friendships, future plans. I mean, engagements could be found there too, because that's a future plan. So there is like this huge shift that is kind of going to be focused in this area for the next 18 months for you. And then...
wait, in a good way or a bad way? Because
there's no good or bad. It's just, well, there's going to be shifts and changes. And I can give you a clue. The clue is similar to 2006. If you can kind of remember what was happening for you in that area of friendships, networks, any big things happening there. But also, we want to look at the opposite of Pisces, which is Virgo, and also this Libra eclipse that's happening in your 6th house of health. So I want you to think about friendships, networks. I want you to think about creative projects, children, romance, okay, here. And think about your health and your work routines, daily routine. So you do have something new coming in for this October 2nd that is around your health. So if your health hasn't been great, this could be a really nice new beginning of, you're going to start feeling better. So we talked about the 11th house and the 5th house. Okay, so the dates, 2006, 2007, in those areas.
And could you just explain again what each of the houses represent?
Yeah, so the new one is going to be the main character is going to be this Pisces energy, which is your 11th house of friendships, networks, communities, groups, future plans. And this is also, you have to take in consideration the 11th house, which is a Uranus house. It's an Aquarius house, and you're an Aquarius moon, and your North Node's in Aquarius. So there, it's probably, a lot of these eclipses are preparing you to put you on your destiny path when the North Node switches into Aquarius.
Right.
In 2027.
Okay.
So we have this eclipse happening here. I have my eclipses written down here. And then the next one after October is going to be March 13th, and that's going to be in Virgo. So that will be down here in your 5th house. Now, this could be interesting for you, because I'm just noticing that you have an interception. Not all astrologers read Placidus, which is not equal house. So as you can see, not all your houses are equal. Now, if you were to be born at the South Pole, your houses are going to be like this. And you might only have a couple of them.
Yeah.
However, you have an interception here, which is, do you see how big this house is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see that you have Leo ruling 2 houses? You see 2 Leos, and you have 2 Aquariuses, which leaves no houses being ruled by Pisces and Virgo. So I think that's very interesting for you for these next eclipses, because it's a house And it's a house that you have no planets in, one.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it doesn't rule a house. So it's kind of like it's being like hidden. This energy of Pisces and Virgo is being hidden, which is isolation, addiction. That's what Pisces is. It's spirits. It's escaping. It's all one. It's like endings. Yeah. It's like, and then you have Virgo, which is about health and work schedules, like everything regimented. Kind of Virgo is like what you do on the daily, right? Yeah. So like you could wake up and every morning I get up and I make tea and I sit down and I pull some cards. I have, and I go on a walk, or then I go.
So it's literally the physical realm.
Yes.
The earth.
And Pisces is the metaphysical realm. Right. Conscious and like, but spirits and addictions are there. Hospitals and jails are there. Right. So it's all kind of hidden. Mm-hmm. Now that's the kind of energy that you have in here. So you might have a lot of friendships and networks that might be the Pisces energy, because it's something that you don't really have direct access to. Okay. Like I have an interception too, and mine's Gemini and Sagittarius. I have a lot of Sagittarius and Gemini friends. Mm-hmm. And also I have a South Node in Aquarius. So I love my Aquariuses because that is energy I'm familiar with. Right. It's the Leo energy that I'm trying to figure out in this life. Like, who am I? Mm-hmm. How do I embrace this Leo energy? And that's why I force myself to do art and theater and public speaking and leadership type things. Now working with kids, I'm like, oh my God, painting. Okay. I was in the Aquarius things when I was younger. I worked 3 jobs. I went to school. I transferred to UCSD. I lived in San Diego. I was a sales rep for an electronic company. So I was into the new innovative things at that time. I was selling Nokias and cell phones when they first came out, pagers. Yeah. I was selling big screen TVs, home theater systems. I was just like loved technology. I'd go to these conventions, these big conventions, and learn about all the new gadgets and electronics. And like, I remember when computers came out, Yeah. And like, that's so Aquarius. Yeah. And now I'm like in this, moving towards this Leo, but that's my North Node. So what's your North Node? Aquarius, you're actually opposite of me. Yeah. That's nuts.
But it's also innovation, so I think that's going to play into somehow morph with my creative side as well. And I think yours and my Sag and Leo fire energy really spark off of each other, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we have like literally opposite destiny points.
Yeah.
It's like I can teach you about the Aquarius energy and you can teach me about the Leo energy. Because with Leo energy, performing, being on stage, and you're a belly dancer.
I'm all about that.
And performer.
All about that life. Yeah.
Are you like do you do the like circus stuff? Like
a little bit.
Like knives in your throat. I mean, that looked really bad, huh? But the sword thing in the mouth and stuff.
I've done a little bit of that. So yeah, the sword balancing, cane dancing. I have fire fans. There's always something to learn, So yeah.
I love that aspect.
Yeah.
And then I mean, your North Node's in your 10th house of career and legacy. So that is probably one of the most uncomfortable areas for you to step into. Yeah. But if you do, you're going to find most of your happiness. So just finding a career and legacy and going for it. And
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Aquarius does rule AI, and that's huge right now. Like robotics, AI, anything that is like tech, humanity, working with groups of people, workshops. And this is why I'm like, oh my God, Joolz just has to like create like some kind of workshop. And that's why I wanted to work together and create maybe even a retreat that I do.
That's the kind of stuff I can see myself going towards. And there's definitely this deep desire for it. But like you were speaking to, a little bit of it's uncomfortable a little bit at first. I get like so revved up about it and I see it, but then when it comes down to actually executing it, it's like,
yeah. And it's just getting over the hurdles. And like for me, starting my YouTube was a big step in a very uncomfortable direction for me.
Yeah.
And I started it in 2017 because I'm used to the Aquarius being a part of the group, supporting the people on stage.
Yeah. Right.
2, being on stage, being in front. I mean, I was in a theater production in 2018 and 2020. I was in a musical and I'm on stage and it's extremely uncomfortable for me. But I think
I met you when you were starting to get into that a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then like starting my YouTube, I mean, look at my first video. It's like, oh my God, I just like cringe at it. But
I think everybody goes through that. Yeah. And for me, I think I was always a natural performer and leader since I was very young without knowing it. And then I actually went through a really dark period of my life where I completely lost myself. And now it's almost like a soul retrieval of remembering those old parts of me and stepping into a deeper sense of leadership, but it's scary. So I'm still like trying to remember those parts of myself.
Yeah, because this is, I mean, it could have even been in a past life you were like a stay-at-home mother or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe you worked in homes, maybe you had a daycare or you had children and you're like moving into an area of like independence and freedom within your career.
Yeah.
And helping others in a very like, because humanity really needs leaders right now.
Right.
You know, humanity needs healers and like people that understand the worlds that are transforming. You know, the earth is transforming. Humanity is transforming. We're all remembering.
Right.
After this long period of being asleep, programmed, conditioned, drugged. And because we're awakening, let's see how much we can drug them and put them back to sleep. Through pharmaceuticals and vaccines, you know. So it's like birth control. It's disconnecting a woman from her cycle and her power. And I think the more that we just understand what's happening, then the more that we can protect ourselves and like and like continue this evolution that humanity deserves.
Yeah,
because we've been asleep for too long. We've been compliant for too long. We've been literally slaves for too long.
Yeah.
Really time for us to like break free from the systems, Sagittarian systems, right? Saturn. Saturn is associated with the devil in the tarot.
Right.
So it's like this 3D, you know, 5
and
type of experience when we can manifest so much more.
Yeah.
With our mind and the metaphysical and the spiritual realms and like God goddess type thing. Yeah. So I'm really excited about Pluto and Aquarius and what that is going to do and like how is it going to bring humanity together and transform it. So we will see. with all this AI. And that's going to transform humanity because AI is going to probably be doing all the work that we've been slaving doing. And then we could focus on other things. Like,
and I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of contrast too with that, because like with anything, there needs to be balance. So that could go in the deep end of having too much AI and figuring all that out.
Well, it's happening quick.
It is.
Right? And transformation is hard. Before anything is started, we have to end something.
Yep.
And that's sometimes the hardest part, is like ending certain things, like people being in relationships that are abusive or like unhealthy, and they know it, but they're scared to end it without finding something else because they're afraid to be alone. But really, we have to trust in the universe. We have to trust in God, Goddess, and our plan that universe has for our lives, and understand like, hey, I just need to end this and move it aside and believe that there is something awaiting for me that is so much more aligned, right?
Right. And I think a lot of the hard time of letting go with those things is never of experiencing anything different. So sometimes we don't know that anything else exists, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Using our imagination and trying to come up with maybe what perfect looks like for us, because not everyone has the same visions of their life or partnership or relationship, right? And it's what works for both people. Yeah. And if you could find your perfect match that works, because not everyone wants to get married. Yeah. Not everyone wants to like live together and blend finances. Right? So it's like, what works? Not everyone wants to have kids. Not everyone wants to buy a house. I mean, there could be people that are, hey, look, I want a best friend. I want someone that I could share my life with and experiences and emotions with and travel and agree with. And it just really depends on what their nodes are, what they're here to learn and experience.
Right. And then how do we want to actually feel in the energy of those partnerships without losing ourselves and our sovereignty to them? You know, I think that's a big thing. So I think that's what's coming up in a lot of the reflection for us, especially this week, right? Yeah. Thanks, Eclipse.
Autonomy and sovereignty is such an Aquarius Sagittarius thing to say. I love that. Because you're like Uranus, Jupiter, right? You're like, leave me alone, I'm different. Don't put me in a box. Don't confine me.
Oh, 1,000%. I'm always like, I'm going to stick it to the man.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But here I am. Working with kids because the universe is forcing me to for some reason. But that's my North Node in Leo.
Yeah.
Leo rules children. So, but yeah, so that's kind of astrology in a nutshell. That's what I do in readings. I look at your chart. I look at transits. I break down people's natal charts, which was the first chart we pulled up with those aspects. I read those aspects. I see where the energy is. We talked a lot about your North Node, your moon, your sun, and then I didn't even get into the aspects because that takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
And then looking at the transits, which are projected here. That's how I read these charts. I look, and I didn't look at the aspects to your planets. It's just a really rough reading that I just did. But that gives you an idea of like what I do. And and how I can prepare people. So it's like you're preparing for these new eclipses or from things that maybe started in 2006, 7, 8, that's finally coming to a close. And there was a midpoint, I think in 2015. Let me look at those eclipses. I think that was the other eclipses that were very similar to the ones that are happening. Yeah. Yep. 2015. Yeah, 2015 and 16, which is crazy because I moved into this apartment in 2016.
You know, different. I'm trying to reflect on that stuff. I don't even remember what was going on for me through 2006 to 2008, really. But 2015, 16, I've been having lots of memories and energies pulling me back to another state that I used to live in back then. So maybe that's what's going on. I don't know.
Interesting. Because I mean, that would be something new because 6th house is your daily routines, right?
Yeah.
That would be different than where you are
like
now.
Why am I being pulled back there? And I never thought that I ever would. And communities from that I had entered during that time. So
yeah, which is the 11th house that you just had, which is communities and future plans. So we will we'll see. You know, maybe there's a call because there's something in the 5th house that wants to be expressed, and that could just be like healing through some kind of art or relationship, like romance or children or something like that.
So 5th is, I'm sorry, I'm so bad. This 5th is like family
romance
stuff.
Yeah, it's romance because it's a Leo house. So
okay, and then the 11th is
Aquarius.
Right. Okay.
So the 11th house is
how you keep up with all this stuff. I mean, I know you've been doing it for a while.
Friends and networks, and then 5th house
networks
is like romance.
Okay, so more expansive interactions versus more intimate interactions.
Yeah, because because 5th house is also children.
Yeah,
so it could be your children, but it could also be your inner child.
Okay.
It's your creative and passions.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's ruled by Leo. Yeah, so because you have an interception.
Yeah.
Right? Because really, if you're a rising Aries, 5th house would be Leo. But you're a rising Taurus with a 5th house in Leo and a 4th house in Leo. So you have a lot of experience with Leo.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
My mom and my stepdad are both Leos. They have the same birthday.
I was just about to ask you. Is your mom a Leo?
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you. That's so crazy because 4th house is home.
Yeah.
And mother. But your moon is also your mother. So maybe your mother was also some kind of Aquarius energy or Capricorn energy. Was she always at work or anything? Or detached in any ways, or traveling a lot? I don't know. So, and then your son is usually representative of your father. And
my biological father is a Virgo, I believe.
Okay. So that's remember the Virgo's missing? I'm a Virgo moon.
Yeah.
So this is your childhood.
That I had Virgo missing from my chart.
House. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was missing from my childhood.
Yeah.
But we have an amazing relationship now.
Yeah.
And not that he didn't want to be there. That's a long story.
Yeah.
Mother got
a very similar
situation. Yeah. And now I don't have a relationship with my mother. So, by my choice, though.
Your brother?
My mother.
Your mother. Okay.
So it's switched.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to pull up your mom's chart one day if you have the information.
I Probably do. It's more of just, yeah, maybe if I feel like I can stomach that energy, it's, you know, I've just chosen to let us go off in our different karmas and whatnot, you know? So,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, hashtag twin flame journeys.
Yeah, right.
What we have to go through.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, oh, wow. You have Mars on your Chiron. Oh. Do you have any siblings?
I have a half sister.
Okay. Yeah, because Mars is conjunct your natal Chiron, and Chiron's the wounded healer. So a lot of wounding around your communication, your voice, but also your relationship with your siblings. So,
yep, we don't really have much of a relationship. Not that, yeah, and I guess that's what the wounding there is. I think that we both wish that we felt like we had more of a sibling, and it just never really happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the communication, understanding between us is terrible. I think just totally different perceptions of what really went on in our childhood. So a lot of misunderstanding. Yeah.
And I just noticed the North Node, which is like the collective North Node, has been transiting your 12th house for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the unconscious. That is hospitals and like confinements and spiritual realms. So you've been working through that a lot.
Girl, yeah, probably for at least the last 25 years. I would want to say.
But do you see how close it is to exiting? It's at 6 degrees. So maybe that's what this new moon eclipse is. Remember I said something new in your health?
Yeah.
Maybe because the North Node's finally exiting your 12th house and getting in your 11th house, that you're having this new cycle where you're going to start thinking clear, having more energy. Your health is going to take a turn.
I hope so.
This is, I think, another shedding.
You know what's funny too? I think when I have last saw you in person, I thought that you said that my health was going to turn around July 17th, this past July. And so I was like waiting for that day, but I guess I got the date wrong. But you know, it was so funny. That was the date that I ended up getting hospitalized. And I've always been so anti like Western medicine. Not that I was always that way, just my path took me that way. But this was the first time where I just surrendered and knew that I had to go to the hospital. And I was actually like aching and grateful to be there, and just like, so that was a turning point of me starting to open up of different ways to address my health and to allow certain different medical systems to maybe be a bridge to things as opposed to being against one thing or the other. Mm-hmm. So now it's and just allowing the process, surrendering to it. So, it's led me to looking into different kinds of treatments and things that I probably wouldn't have before.
Okay.
I was so stuck on the things that I thought were the only things that worked for me for so long, but they weren't sustainable, Mm-hmm. So, and getting addicted to supplements is a real thing, guys. So there's that, but you don't want to have to do that for your entire life.
Yeah.
You're chasing the dragon of feeling well.
Yeah.
So, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I really do believe that this is like a chapter that's going to wrap up for you, and there's going to be some new things that you're going to implement in your health regimens and your daily routines that are just going to awaken your energy again. And like, I do believe that. Yeah. Especially with this North Node here.
You were the unexpected guiding light around that, because how health has been such a huge thing for me for so much of my life, that I wanted to know but a part of me was scared that I was going to be stuck like this forever. So I was like, I don't want to ask a psychic. I don't want to ask anybody. And then you just randomly like brought it up in my chart one day, like, oh, this and this is turning around for you. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at when the North Node moves into your 11th house, and that's actually in November of this year. So,
okay.
And that's crazy because the new moon in your 6th house of health is happening in October.
Yeah.
So,
okay, we'll have to see what happens and then maybe celebrate.
yeah, absolutely. Just let me know. We're going to keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for being my first. I have actually a lineup of friends and people that gave me their birth information that is going to follow you up.
Cool. Well, yeah. I'm happy to be the first one and see where you go with all of this from here.
Oh yeah, and hopefully we can create a like a retreat.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Somewhere.
I feel it.
Like a healing arts retreat, because you can teach belly dancing. Yeah,
so I have a lot of stuff in the works of just trying to figure out how to put healing and belly dance and burlesque mashups together. Not only that, but just dropping more into the authenticity of self-expression from the soul and how people can connect to their divinity of whatever form of art expression that they connect with. So yeah, I think there should be a lot of fun things to look forward to.
I could do the readings for people and host the paint sessions for healing.
Exactly. And then maybe we could even, if you're doing readings for people, we can collaborate on how that could assist them in finding ways to express themselves better through, how I'll bring through the performing arts or whatever.
Exactly. Like moving your body and like, especially those North Nodes and Leos.
Yeah.
For those Chirons that are in the 5th house or in the Chirons that are in, have aspects to Leo in any way. But
yeah, totally.
All right. Well, I am going to stop the recording now, and I will continue talking to you.
Okay.